so we are going to review the important concept of filter bank that we have studied in the SP2. Basically, a filter bank, as the name of suggests, it's a bunch of filter. It's a kind of system that consists of a bunch of filters. Well, that system is usually designed to process the signal based on these frequencies. So a typical diagram of the system is like this. You see this original signal, and the first G is G0 and G1 and are a bunch of bandpass filters. In other case, a filter out that only keeps the signals that are in a specific range of frequencies. And in the middle, there is some processing of the signals, and if needed, if the signal needs to be reconstructed, there's also a synthesis process in which the signals are restored and combined together and try to reach the original signal. So in the lecture, we basically discuss another thing. The filter banks, the nomenclature of the filter banks are multifaceted. You can sort this you can categorize the filter bank based on the type of bandpass filters, as well as the bandpass as well as the kinds of the ways to process the signals. In the lecture, we basically discuss two-channel decimated filter banks, which means that there are only two channels. I mean, there are GN and G1, G0 and G1, and also this process of signals is just basically downsampling. And we're gonna look into a greater view of this reconstruction process, and we're gonna look into into details for this reconstruction process. You can see if we use the Z domain of this system, and we could make such a formula that after this filter bank, the signals are processed like this. And in order to get this one is actually the expression of YZ. So in order to get the perfect reconstruction, obviously YZ must equal to XZ. And for that formula, for the sake of simplicity, you can see there is XZ and X minus Z. If this formula is going to be held for any Z, the coefficient, we could see the coefficient of this X minus Z must equal to 0, which means that we could find some way to cancel this G0 minus Z and this out. So for simplicity, we could just erase this out. Okay, so now we could also cancel these XZ out for both sides of the equalities, because obviously it's not 0 equals 1. So now this gets better. You can see that if we're gonna multiply this equality by 2 on both sides, we actually get the sum of the product of these two filters equals 2. Well, we could simplify this by adding this constraint. Well, which means that the two filters, G1Z and G0Z, have some relations like this, where L is odd. That also satisfies the condition where the coefficient of X minus Z equals to 0. After that, if we plug this in, we could eventually get this. Well, this is not that difficult. We could just simply take Z as a sort of some number, and well, we could just simply make L to 1 or something. So this means that this filter, I mean, combined with this, it's actually a half-band filter. So we have already reached a sufficient but not necessary condition for this perfect reconstruction. I